Long before hospitals, laboratories, and printed prescriptions reached the islands, ancient Filipinos learned to listen to the body and the land around them, and in that listening they built a system of healing that did not depend on machines but on observation, patience, and memory. Because survival demanded it, illness was not an abstract concept. It was immediate, personal, and often fatal if misunderstood. So early communities turned forests into pharmacies and elders into living libraries of medicine. Healers were not separate from daily life. They were farmers, midwives, warriors, and storytellers. People who understood seasons, soil, and the quiet signals of the human body. Knowledge passed by word and practice rather than books, refined through generations of trial and error. Leaves were not just plants, they were remedies. Bark became protection, roots became strength, and oils became shields against pain and infection. Lagundi was used to ease coughs and fever long before it was studied. Sambong helped flush the body when swelling appeared. Guava leaves cleaned wounds when clean water was scarce, and turmeric soothed inflammation before the word existed. These practices were not mystical guesses. They were systems built from repetition and results, kept only because they worked often enough to save lives. Healing was holistic. The body was never treated alone. Food, rest, environment, and emotion were considered part of recovery. Illness was seen as imbalance, not just invasion. So treatments aimed to restore harmony rather than silence symptoms. Massage was not luxury, but necessity. Hillet aligned muscles, improved circulation, and eased pain after labor or childbirth. Touch was medicine, and the hands learned what the eyes could not see. Birth itself was guided by experienced women who understood anatomy through lived experience. Herbal compresses reduced pain, steam baths cleansed and relaxed the body, and recovery was respected as a critical phase rather than an afterthought. When colonization arrived, many of these practices were dismissed as primitive, yet they endured quietly in villages and homes, surviving because people trusted what had kept their ancestors alive. Even as modern medicine spread, these traditions did not disappear. They adapted, sometimes blending, sometimes retreating, but always remembered. Today, science has begun to look back, confirming what elders already knew, that many of these plants contain compounds effective for inflammation, infection, and pain, that practices centered on rest, touch, and balance reduce stress and support recovery, not as replacements for modern medicine, but as foundations it once overlooked. What made ancient Filipino medicine powerful was not defiance of science, but alignment with nature and community. Healing was accessible, affordable, and grounded in daily life. No appointments, no distant facilities, just knowledge carried in people and places. The greatest strength of these practices was prevention. Diets rich in plants, fermented foods, and natural fibers supported digestion and immunity. Daily movement kept bodies functional, community reduced isolation, and rituals gave meaning to illness and recovery, reducing fear and despair. In a world increasingly dependent on technology, these ancient systems remind us that medicine did not begin in laboratories. It began in observation, patience, and care. And while modern medicine saves lives in ways ancient healers could never imagine, it is the old wisdom that teaches sustainability, accessibility, and respect for the body's limits. If you stayed to the end, understand this clearly: ancient Filipino medicinal practices were never about rejecting progress, they were about surviving with what was available, and that wisdom still matters today. Subscribe now, because the future of health may depend on remembering what the past already understood.